Hi there. I know how hard it is right now to figure out how to talk about your work and what you do. You're being asked to come up with words constantly, and you throw them into ChatGPT or you throw them into some kind of AI tool, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. You don't even know what necessarily good looks like. It is tricky out there. Well, my name's Annie Figenshu. I'm the owner of Downstage Media, and I work with companies all the time to figure out what words to use and then where to put them. So that way you can have an impact on your audience. I mean, I've understood firsthand at a very visceral level how the words that you use can impact an audience. I used to be an improv comic. So I used to go on stage with my fellow castmates with no script, and just off the top of our heads, we would come up with words that were going to have an impact on an audience. Usually, we were hoping that impact was going to be hilarity. Sometimes not always, but most of the time. And I even see that now. I recently worked with a client who had 90 seconds with his Shark Tank pitch, and he was able to get $250,000 from a couple of different sharks because the words that we put together for his pitch, that we designed for those 90 seconds, every single word was intended to influence the producers, the television audience, and most importantly, the sharks. So I have understood words and their impacts on audiences my entire career. And I've been doing it in the marketing space for social media content, email content, blog content for over 10 years by this point. When you come across my work, whether you're attending an event that I am running, or if you come across an email or a video or a social media post, I'm probably going to tell you a story about what I've learned working with clients in this matter. I will probably share with you a case study, maybe some recent bit of research that I have picked up on a pretty cool weekend where I was diving into content marketing statistics, NBD. Or I will be using theater metaphors because it's oftentimes the lens that I see things through. I have my BFA from NYU, and I oftentimes just understand the world from that lens. You're not going to hear a sports metaphor from me, but you very well may hear a metaphor about showing up and putting yourself in your best light. But I do all of this so that way you can understand that when you do need to talk about the work that you do, whether it's to introduce yourself on a podcast or you need to give a blurb about a new initiative that your company is putting out or something like that, you have an understanding of how it's going to work, how it's going to hit, how it's going to land with your audience, and you're going to have a clearer sense of what good looks like. And so that way your audience will know not only what it is that you offer, but how it's going to make their lives better and how they can get it. So I want to make sure that I'm putting out content that is helpful for you. Feel free when you're at an event of mine, ask questions. If you get an email, send a reply, put comments in videos that you see, reply to posts that I put out. I want to make sure that what you are hearing is what you are needing. So that way, every time you come across the work that I do, it's going to help and positively affect the work that you do. Thank you so much, and I very much look forward to interacting with you here and in other spaces as well throughout the internet. Thanks a lot.